I mean, it is the big question, right? Because one day, it is going to happen. Somebody is going to defeat Roman Reigns. And that reaction is going to be absolutely incredible. You are definitely going to want to see it live. So as we are moving into the territory of actually deciding who should be a genuine contender, I thought you should meet up with me and I should meet up with you. And let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Wayne. And let's start throwing names in the tumbler. And of course, the most obvious one is Jey Uso. Now, plans could change, but WWE seems to have this bloodline story down, maybe even all the way to next year's WrestleMania. So I am going to put my hair on the line. And if we do get to SummerSlam, which is right around the corner, and in fact it may have already been announced by the time you see this video, I am going to bet my hair and my ass that we do indeed get Roman Reigns versus Jey for the damn WWE Unified Special 9000 title. I mean, do not forget he has held that title for over 1,000 days, and because he's so obsessed with it, he has ruined his entire family. So we will get main event Jey Uso taking on manipulative, emotionally bullying cousin. Now look, there's a large portion of people that think this should be the time, this should be the way, and we should give it to Jey, and that rhymes, so now I'm happy. But I'm gonna be that guy, I'm gonna be the bearer of bad news. I don't think it's going to happen. Now look, if WWE did pull the trigger, I would be over the moon. So much so, I would go into space and I'd live there. I mean, it would almost be perfect in terms of going full circle, because you get 3 years down the line, and the one guy who has been absolutely crapped on since day one finally is able to climb up and say to Roman, no more, and also, I'm taking that title of yours. I think I would cry, and I wouldn't even be embarrassed. He'd also come out the other side as an absolute megastar. Let's just look at the evidence. Everybody said this about Drew McIntyre when we came over to Wales. We didn't do it. And everybody said, oh, Sami Zayn in Montreal. And we didn't do it. And there was Roman Reigns and a bunch of other people. And of course, WrestleMania 39 with Cody Rhodes. Well, surely that's going to happen. And we didn't do it. And of course, there are arguments to be had, but I don't think we can say that WWE is doing this wrong anymore. You see that SmackDown rating the other day? Over 3 million people tuned in to watch the trial of Roman Reigns. And it almost, in terms of SmackDown, was the #1 watch show in all of America in a 1-week period. Now, like, it finished at number 3, but number 3 is still pretty good. That's why I don't think we are going to end it at the hottest event of the summer, but the powers that be have earned their trust, because this has been one of the best storylines they have done in ages. So now we can take our faith and we can put it in their pocket. And even if they do stumble a little bit, I'm still happy to go, okay, well, that bit didn't work, but the rest has been banging. Because let's look at it this way. Something that a lot of people are advocating for is, oh man, we could do a dusty finish. If you don't know what a dusty finish is, it means it's going to look like Jey Uso has won the championship at SummerSlam, but then there'll be some kind of reversal and the referee will be like, oh, I made a terrible mistake, and Roman will still be the guy. And I don't think you want to do that, because these kind of finishes piss fans off anyway, but whatever we have to do to keep Jey Uso strong is the way that we should do it. We do have a Solo Sikoa in there, and I understand that the interfering has got a little bit, what are we doing? But trust me, it builds into everything else. The one plus side of doing it is that it would give Jey his moments, and once again, tears can come out of our eyes. But don't forget, when we do get out the other side, it's time for round 72, whatever it is, Roman versus Jimmy. And look, as much as I do love Jimbo, if Jey ain't winning the thing, we ain't gonna give it to J-Dog, but you do have to do that much. Otherwise, much like Cody Rhodes, the story is incomplete. And I'm sure Solo could get involved in that as well. He does need to keep doing this, because eventually where we do need to get to, stay with me if you can, even I'm a little bit lost, is Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa. And that's when we start having some damn fun. More fun. Because what do we do here? Well, it's nice and simple, it's nice and easy. It is 2 + 2 = 4. We have Jey pin Solo Sikoa and beat him. And do you know why Sikoa loses? Because Roman Reigns will try to get involved and they'll accidentally screw him over. And you can see the seeds that we are planting here. It's not like we haven't teased this already, because that Money in the Bank when Roman Reigns on the floor going, why can't I beat my cousins? It's making me so sad. Solo looked at him like, man, what a dweeb, what a wimp. I'm following you around, I should be offended. Given how much we have talked about though, this could take us all the way to the Royal Rumble. So now we are in 2024, and what main event's that show? I've got to stop asking and then answering my own questions. But yes, it's Roman Reigns taking on Solo Sikoa. So this family is screwed. And I would guess this is already in WWE script, as it should be. And this one is actually a little bit more tricky and it's a little bit more difficult. Because you should probably say that Roman gets the W, but Solo Sikoa absolutely has to have an excuse or a get-out clause, and then the Usos will get involved. So yeah, that's quite tough. Thankfully, I don't work in creative anymore. But we just have to have the opportunity for Solo to get on a mic and say, well, I would have done it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. And talking about next year, we should probably aim to turn Solo Sikoa into a megastar. He got it. And where am I going with all of this? Well, you've probably figured it out. We get to WrestleMania 40, and the poor head of the table has lost everything. You could even start to tease that maybe, just maybe, he's having problems with Paul Heyman, which means his last friend is his world championship. That's kind of sad. It makes him a bit of a loser. And on this evening, he shall take on Cody Rhodes for the second time. And this time, the American Nightmare gets the 1, 2, 3. He finishes his story. He takes Roman's title, which means Reigns, when you get to the Raw after WrestleMania, has nothing. Jack, zero, he's done. And people still like to go, well, why don't we just do it this year? And Jey Uso already pinned him in that tag match. But look, once again, we've seen that WWE are firing on all cylinders right now. As long as you treat everything right, when Cody hits that crossroads and he gets the 3, we will all erupt like Kermit the Frog. But I know that I like Cody so much, I'll just be happy for him. Look, if you want to go silly willy, you can just have him enter the Royal Rumble at number 1 and win that thing too. I mean, that would be way over the top, but we're already here. Let's do it. But also, we're not done. If we do sell this the right way and we do have all the pieces in place, do you know what you can do 24 hours later? And I mean this. You can start the Roman Reigns babyface turn. I mean, he's already a massive star, so all you've really got to do is shuffle some of the pieces. It's not like people don't cheer for him anyway. And do you know who then the main antagonist could be? It's not a specific wrestler. It is, of course, Paul Heyman. And there's no way that they will actually stay together long term, because that wouldn't make any sense. That is 2 + 2 = potato. And do you know who's really good at generating heat? That's right, the former head of WCW. ECW. What a stupid thing to say. ECW. And that way too, it really doesn't matter who Reigns' opponents are, because they can all be Paul Heyman guys. I mean, you could even go back to the Brock Lesnar stuff, should you so wish. I wouldn't do it, but at least the roles would be reversed. I mean, one of the perfect choices to me would be something like Gunther, and I do get it. Why would you want to team him with Paul Heyman? But we did it with Brock, and it didn't hurt Lesnar do it. Maybe that's how you do turn the ring general into a proper main eventer. And maybe he can become the champion too. As a quick aside, even if you don't do that, you can do Cody versus Gunther. So once again, good times are coming to us. I just think when you do lay it all down, it does make all the sense in the world, because not only do the Usos get over, but Solo Sikoa gets over, and Cody Rhodes gets even more over. And of course, it allows WWE to do what they've always wanted to do, which is present Roman as a good guy. And once again, he has achieved such a level of stardom now, it is going to happen. If nothing else, we all appreciate his work. And also, this is the question I shall leave you with. How would you do it better? Don't come up with stupid stuff like, oh man, The Undertaker comes back and then Goldberg is hit. No, that ain't going to happen. We're clearly keeping it simple, stupid, so you have to as well. I mean, the major success of this narrative is the fact that we have created all of these other top guys that can now be shuffled around the pack, which is why Cody should win that championship, because you forget, there are casual fans out there. They don't watch it as geeky as we do. I think the major part is that if WWE does have an endpoint written down, they do need to stick to it. Don't go and NWO the thing. I can't handle that again. And much like we hinted at earlier, I do want to point out that even if WWE does balls up the way they finish all of this, I still think it deserves a round of applause, because they have stuck to their guns and they've just taken me on a fascinating ride. Why do I tune into wrestling every single week? Well, yes, it is to up those downs, but it's also to enjoy myself by telling you I'm having a good time. So yes, there you go. It may be a little bit obvious, but I am going to plump for Cody Rhodes, and this is because I want to be right. 9 times out of 10, I'm making all these prediction videos, and I'm wrong. Do you know what that does to my self-esteem? It certainly doesn't increase it. So now I'm batting for the fences. And I don't want to get bogged down into all these arguments either. People going, well, it's not as good as this story, it's not as good as that story. Why can't we just enjoy all the stories? We had great stories in the 80s, we had great stories in the 90s, we had great stories in the 2000s, and now in the 2020s, well, we're getting another one. This is why I'm happy and proud to be a fan. Long may it continue. Now, look, there is a lot to talk about, and I need your opinion, so make sure you get in those comments below and let me know what you think, and don't get too mad at me. It's just some stupid bald guy's opinion. And there shall be a video on the screen, if not now in a few seconds. Please do give it a click. Otherwise, what are we making content for? Also, you can like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com, where we will keep you up to date with anything that's going to happen with Roman Reigns. And we're on social media. Simon316, What Culture WWE. Come give us a follow. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Know that I will love you till the end of time, and that I'll see you soon.